Mess with me. We are back. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. You are here on the Fifth Quarter Sports Podcast. I am your host, Mr. Kevlar. Treat them so well, and yes, I treat them very well. Joined with me, as always, Mr. Diamond Dirty D for life. D, we are short a couple fellas, but we here, dog.
Most definitely. We are in the building just like we never left. Coach Abe is on the way. Skip has some family stuff he had to take care of, but he is here in spirit, and we will do our best to uplift everyone as we do on the show.
Yes. Well, you know what? Let's start here real quick. Let me just run this right here, man. Run this right here. We have a returning guest tonight. He's been on the show. This is now his third time. And every time he is here, we get another success story. Hang on, wait a minute. Before we bring him in, coming to the stage, Randy Watkins. No, Coach A. Sexual chocolate. Coach, the Kick Step King. What it is, what it ain't, what up, though?
Oh, my goodness.
You think I knew about that, didn't you?
That joking out. That's fun stuff. That's some funny stuff right there.
What's up, family? Good to be back.
Man.
Talk about all that.
Oh, you good. I was just giving our wonderful guest backstage his intro for the night. As I was saying, every time we have him on the show, it's another success story. Probably, well, some say, I ain't heard nobody argue against it. He's the best QB coach, the QB whisperer of the state of Georgia. Whoa. Coming to the stage, returning to the show, Coach AJ Barr. Hey, Coach.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all.
What is going on? I'm sorry, my claps were a little delayed right there. I don't know what happened.
Oh, you're good.
Hey,
Can y'all hear me?
yes, sir.
Yes.
Just making sure y'all can hear me.
Loud
Man.
and clear. Good to see you, Coach. What's been going on?
Man, definitely blessed. Can't complain, man. Just happy to be a part of the guys again. Get to talk to y'all again. Really just been coaching and training. Same old, man. Trying to pour back into these kids' lives, keep pouring these kids, give them opportunities that we didn't have when we were younger. So just keep pouring it into these kids.
Man, that is amazing. I understand that you and your wife are expecting number two.
We already
saying?
had her.
Well, you already had number two. Oh,
and number two, January 31st.
What? Congratulations, Coach.
I'm about to say two girls. I don't know. That's them two girls be getting me. Them girls are different.
Boy, yes, we know.
I knew God said I needed one. I didn't think I needed two, but I guess he did.
Let me tell you, mine turns a year old in about 3 weeks, and the difference that I have between my son and my daughter is insane.
Oh,
my son, I'd toss him 5-10 feet into the air, and he loved it. Her, she don't even leave my hands, bro.
And a little bit more care.
Well, Coach, man, what is new? What is exciting? What can we expect to see this season out of Carrollton High School football?
Man, it's definitely exciting. I know with everybody knowing with Jew leaving, headed up to Colorado. I just got done talking to him the other day. He's still battling for that number one spot at Colorado, and people still not knowing that he's still only 17 years old. Fighting for the number one spot over at Colorado. But being here, man, we've been growing as a team. From a quarterback standpoint, I got 2 quarterbacks. I got one that transferred in from North Carolina. That's going to be a senior. He's Mason Holtzclaw. He's about 6'4", about 210, 215. He's got a bunch of offers from a lot of Group of 4. And then I got the freshman phenom who's going to be coming into freshman year, CJ Cypher, who's now done had a whole other year to grow. He's 6'2", 187, 190 pounds, as a rising freshman who's been doing great as well. So it's been a great battle between them two, and to have 2 Division I quarterbacks in your room, I could never complain. But not only from them, we got quarterbacks all the way down to the 5th grade. We got really 2 to 3 in each grade that could play. After that 8th grade, through the 8th grade down. So it's very exciting in Trojan Nation, especially from the quarterback standpoint. But for us, we're just working, trying to find the right fit, make sure our guys can do the right thing for us.
Go ahead, Abe.
Well, first off, congrats on the baby girl again. Number 2, Cole. I'm definitely a girl dad, so I definitely understand. But let's speak on Juju real quick. Your feelings about him reclassing up and leaving. And I know he kind of had the expectations to go to Colorado and be the number 1 guy, undisputed. But now he in a bit of a fight, with some other guys for that number 1 spot. Talk about the process of him reclassing up and how that affected, the football team in general.
Oh, most definitely. So really around his sophomore year, that second year, there was some talks with him and his dad about it, possibly doing it. And our biggest thing with him doing it is to make sure you got everything out of high school you can get, which from the learning, the teaching part of it. And I've had him for 4 years up to that point. So he just felt by the time going into that senior year or junior year that, one, with the way NIL was getting, especially in college with no limits at the time, being able to get there early enough on time, but was he able to get everything out of high school possible from a teaching standpoint? And we believe he did. From talking to him, talking to colleges, we just believe that he was just on another level mentally than others. He was mentally ready for the next level. And I think him playing in that spring game at Colorado really proved that, yeah, he belongs in college right now. So it was one of those that kind of, we look back at it we want to pat ourselves on the shoulder, but we felt like he is prepared even as a 17-year-old, playing in the spring game at Colorado, ready for his next season. But, from a team standpoint, he left it on good hands. Of course, for 2 of our senior receivers, there were some questions about who's going to be getting on the ball. But I think ever since our spring, they have no questions about who we're going to be able to go with and who we're going to put in, that we got 2 guys that are going to be able to do it. So I think from a Jew standpoint, he kind of left a legacy for sure. But for him, he left a stepping stone for our next guys to step up, and I think for our guys to be challenged by.
Now, with the reclassification process, do you think that more kids are going to start doing it if they have the chance?
I think some will. And the crazy thing is, he wasn't the only one to do it last year. Our safety did it as well. So our safety reclassed up and went to Texas, Ellis Hicks. So he reclassed the whole year up and went. I think for now, because of what we do, how we're structured from a weight room standpoint, nutrition standpoint, practice and everything, guys know when they're going to be ready. And we had that conversation with them. If we feel like they're ready to do it early enough, or if they're not. Now, also academics play a big part too. So it's one of those: are they academically ready to do that, or do they have their classes in order to graduate early? So that's why we've been starting a lot of kids early, about in the 8th grade, trying to take high school classes to try to have that opportunity. But for them, I see a lot of kids doing it, but I think the kids that are going to do it are the kids that reclass back in middle school.
Mm.
And then by the time they get to their junior year or whatever, then they're like, oh, or sophomore year, I'll just reclass back up to my same class. Like Zealous did that. He reclassed back up to his same class, but Drew is the only one I know that graduated a year and a half early, and he was in his right grade the whole time. So I see more people doing that if they reclass earlier in their career.
Dirty D.
Well, like I said, I was talking to Coach, the young man we had on last week. Coach Abe brought him to our attention. Coach gave us some props also, Coach Abe, and I was just trying to mirror the two. You had your hands on the kid. Now Coach gets to work with him now, and now we see the joint effort of the youth football leagues going to the high school level and how they're prepared to take on what Coach Barnes and the Carrollton coaching staff put on them. So between the two of you guys, as coach, as you see these kids coming in, you see the skill set and the development from Coach Abe and company coming into y'all program.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think, and it's a big testament to Coach Abe and what they do. I told kids now, because they even asked me at 7 and 8 year old, like, should they play rec? Should they play in Atlanta League? Where should they play? And my thing is to play where you're going to learn football, like learn how to play football. One, be tough, but then learn how to play football. There's some out here that are just either money grabbers or they're in just a league to be in a league. Like when we get those kids from Coach Abe, these kids, one, know football, but they also know how it is to be hard. Like stuff is hard. Like football is hard. Life is hard. Like, and the ones that can keep going. Like there better be some groups we get that are just 707 guys, and they're good when you're 707 at practice night. But as soon as you start hitting, they want to tap out. Oh, I'm hurt. I'm doing all this stuff, and you start rarely finding tough kids. But a lot of tough kids get taught through tough coaching, but also coaching at a young age that are one teaching them right, but also you can tell love them too at the same time. Because there's a lot of kids that we get that they love. You could tell they love their youth coaches. They love them. Like they'll do. And a lot of them are influenced by them youth coaches. And those youth coaches are smart in what they do. Like they know the programs are going to develop them. They know the programs that ain't stable at the same time. So it's one thing to run a good program, but to have the trust of those kids and those parents at the same time, like that's why it's a big testament to Coach Abe and what they do, especially out there.
Yeah, and just speaking on the real Landon McFadden, aka D Mac. He he was, even back then, man, he wasn't always the biggest. He wasn't the strongest. He might have not always been the fastest, but his heart and his work ethic made him 6'5", 250. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm just so proud of the kid to see how he's flourishing. And I know for sure that, if not this year, in the years coming up, he's gonna definitely play a big role in y'all offense. And I'm definitely excited to see him work.
Oh man, he's been special for us in the sense of one, it's almost like God's timing in the sense of when he got to get moved up from the 8th grade to do spring for varsity with us. Well, we had some injuries with some guys, and one thing for our spring is we know the guys that can do stuff, and we want to find out some of the guys that we need to know about. So like with Ryan and Peyton Zachary, we didn't give them a bulk of the reps. We knew what they can do. So a lot of these young cats got a bunch of reps, and to get a bunch of those reps in front of college scouts and be able to take them to 707s with us in the summer, like they were able to get a whole year's experience in that little time on a lot of kids. But McFadden, the way he's done came in, what I tell a lot of people is, again, he knows football, the IQ part. We can tell him a route, he knows how to run that route with details. Like for us, we think our biggest thing is we ain't got the biggest team at all times, but we play with details. Like we're the
Yes.
smallest details. And I think that details matter, especially when you play bigger teams. Like if
For
I
sure.
know the details of how to block somebody, it don't matter how big you are. I know how to do it. So for us, the details, and for him to be able to do those little details, for him to know all 4 receiver spots, for him to know different stuff like that and pick up on it, go to defense and be able to do that stuff and make plays when you get the football. I think he's been able to do that, and that's just been natural with him. But again, that comes back from what he's been taught, how much football he's been. And I think a lot of those kids, they played a lot more football than some kids.
Yeah.
And it tells out there. It just comes natural to them.
All right,
So
the question I got for you. My bad, D.
Go ahead.
When it comes to 2-sport athletes, I feel like at the age that you have them at, a 2-sport athlete, they're kind of a little bit more involved. They're more in depth to both sports. They're more in tune with playing both sports. It's not like when you're 8 years old and your mom's got you in football, soccer, basketball, and the busy work, the keeping you busy so you ain't at home driving her crazy. They're actually serious and considering college and the next step in both sports. How do you see that translating in those kids when it comes to, as you were just talking about with, there's some kids that only want to play 7-on-7 ball, but when the pads go on and you start hitting, you see a little bit more toughness out of them, a little bit more grit maybe?
Yeah, with more of the different sports they're playing, but then what sports they're playing. Like, to be honest, I think, and you could tell me if I'm wrong, I think more of the baseball kids are starting to fall off a little bit from football, just a little bit, just because of one, the demand of football, but then 2, the demand of baseball. The demand of baseball is getting a little different. The demand of basketball, I see a lot more single sports, but I think football in general helps all the other sports more than some of the other sports can help football. Now, I do believe basketball helps with footwork, all that stuff. Baseball helps with hand-eye coordination, but I think the toughness of football is what helps the other sports. So I see we still promote multi-sport athletes here. Like,
Gotcha.
And it's funny, I finished up my master's, but I'm getting my master's in the same thing, and it talked about the same thing where multi-sport kids are more happy and they tend to stick with that one sport that they're good at longer because of playing 2 sports. A lot of kids get burnt out by just playing one sport. They train at one sport, and eventually they get burnt out and don't like it no more. So that other sport is that time usually where they're able to get away. They're able to not be so locked in with, say I'm a football player, but I get to step away and play basketball. Now my mind's away from football for a little bit, and that's where I get that love to come back for it for. But if all they do is football, like I had that fight with I did have that fight with Jew sometimes because that's all Jew did. So I had to take Jew out, and me and Jew went golfing. Me and Jew would do other stuff that did not involve football because all he did was football. So being able to find stuff that kind of gets their mind, but I think mentally, 2 multi-sport athletes tend to hang on longer than just single sport athletes.
Hang on. We can't just pass over that little drop he tried to drip in there without anybody catching. Father of 2, full-time job, full-time coach, and he's getting his master's. Come on, dog. Come on, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. You can't just stumble by that like we weren't gonna hear it, Coach. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Just trying to
Coach, I gotta ask you, because like now your resume is keep building. You got 2 Division I quarterbacks out there now. You keep in touch, like you say, you talk to Jew, you keep in touch with the other kid also. And how do you, when you have these athletes coming in, like you said, the guy just transferred in, was he like, I ain't gonna say recruited in, but when he came in and you met his family and so forth, you let them know, of course, what you was going to be able to do with his mechanics and his training to move him on to the next level? Because I can see the fact that if somebody's coming from out of state to come see you, it's got to be, your name is ringing outside of these Georgia confines that we in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And being that you're a former quarterback also, Do you find that challenging? Because like I asked you, like, hey, some folks, we got some shoes to fill across the board, not just Juju, but across the board when these kids come in.
Oh yeah, but I think a lot of it too. A lot of those kids, again, and people think we recruit all the time. We tell people all the time that they recruit themselves. You know, what we do here, it recruits itself. So kids are coming in, like the kid from North Carolina. When he came in, we told him, look, we got a quarterback here, and that's going to be a rising freshman. We had one that's here that's going to be a senior as well. He's a baseball kid, going to be a senior. But he felt, and his dad felt like coming in, he's going to get more development that he could in that spring than he could where he was at. And he wasn't the only quarterback that came in. We had a lot of kids visit when Ju left, just because they felt of what we did can have them ready for the next level. But from his standpoint, we told him we honestly didn't think he was coming, like a lot of the other ones, because of who we had. But his dad just said we just felt like we can get that development here, and I know he can get that development to get him to the next level. And if he doesn't win it, we'll find somewhere else in the spring. But we know he can probably get that development in this half a year than he could anywhere else. And that's with a lot of kids, just kind of what we do here. And then I think they see a lot of our kids play early on the next level. And they start seeing, like, how are they doing that? Well, one, from the preparation part, weight room part, nutrition part, the transition is easy. They know how the weight room part is going to be because we work out to the same stuff, same type of lifts, same technology, the same style of practice, to the same type of classes and all that stuff. So we have them set up pretty early to where the transition is easy. It's not for them trying to catch back up. So I think a lot of that, seeing itself, recruits a lot of these kids in itself. So we don't recruit no high school. Now middle school kids, they free range, you know. They free range. So when they come up, now we get a lot. That's where we get a lot of ours in at, you know, and that's where I think we get ahead of a lot of other high schools is because we have a feeder program that running the same stuff through. So that's where we get more kids in than anything in middle school. I get more calls from the middle school principal. Hey, you know, so and so. Like,
wow.
So-and-so's trying to come in. So-and-so. They got a whole list of kids trying to come in because in middle school, one again, you don't have to move. But at the same time, we're in the GMSA. So we're the middle school league of GHSA. So we go by the same standards, same rules, all that stuff. So it's one of those, they know, again, they're going to be prepared for high school, and then from high school, be prepared for college.
Now, Coach, we got a question in the chat. It's not showing on here, so I can't put it on the screen. But would you rather have a QB come in familiar with the system and offensive scheme, or a gifted quarterback that learns fast?
Dang, Coach, you had to swallow on that one, didn't you?
That's your boy,
whoever can produce the best, who can move our offense and get us down the field. That's who it's going to ultimately be. And because I feel like, to be honest, that's the same exact position I'm in right now. Like, I have a kid that ninth grader has been in the system for a while. He knows it. He's younger, but he knows it. Been in the system. Like, he can move our offense up and down the field. But then you got a kid coming from North Carolina that has picked our offense up so fast and is gifted in some stuff. He's a bigger body. He can sling the ball pretty far. So it's kind of stuck in between two. And I say sometimes it's, if I got two and if I can use both, you know. But it's one of those. Sure. It's tough. It's tough. Whoever can control that offense the best to me.
Gotcha. The other question, like, because Abe, I didn't get to tell you, but I wanted to ask, with these new rules getting in place now with the Georgia high school, and you know, it's becoming a transfer portal almost every week in high school now. It's a guy I follow on Instagram. It seems like he's putting a kid up every day, and I'm like, you telling people's business, and then he'll take it down. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about his quarterbacks, running backs, and people moving in everywhere. My question to you, Coach, is what do y'all explain to the kid when they see all this type of movement, or they thinking that, you know, I got a better opportunity over here? Because to me, it's like they don't want to fight for the position. They want it handed to them.
Oh, hands down. And we have examples of that. that we tell people, and then we also tell people, all right, they getting all these offers, they doing all this. Just look to where they signed to. Look to where they signed to. We actually had a presentation to our kids that we showed right during spring, and because there was all the offers, man. So and so that I play with in 707 or what, they getting all these offers, and I'm not getting anything right now. Like, maybe I should leave. And then we pulled up. We ain't gonna say which high school. We put up 3 high schools, and we pulled up all these kids and all the offers that they had, and then we looked to where they signed to. Like, one of these kids, we had a bunch of kids that had Florida, Florida State, Georgia, Georgia Tech signed to Bethune-Cookman, and so and so signed to Jackson State. All these big time offers and stuff, and then they signed somewhere smaller. Now, I'm not knocking these smaller schools, but then you start seeing a trend of all these. They got all these offers. Like, the kid got offered for Miami. Why is he signing to Western Carolina? Like, you got all these big time offers, but then you start realizing a lot of these offers ain't committable. Liberty has offered, they said, 124 class of 26 kids, but they can only sign 20.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, yeah, they got all these offers, but are they committable? So for us, it's one of those, when you get an offer so our kids, every time they get an offer, we first need to hear from the college coach. But once you get it, we're going to call the college coach. Is it committable? Is it a true offer? If it's not, then it's like, all right, well, make sure you tell the kid that. But also at the same time, if it's not committable, let's not do that. You know, so it's one of those having a trust with the coaches.
Gotcha. That was my next thing, because I know 707 has gotten, from the time me and Abe were playing, it's then got almost the cream of the crop is 707 now before the league starts. So just like you said, you got a kid out here looking all world and getting all this attention in 707, and then when the pass come on, it's like, where this guy went.
Yep, no stats, no nothing. We ain't gonna put no kids out there, but we had a kid leave us. You know, it's supposed to be this 4 or 5 star committed, Power 5, all this stuff, and we played against him last year, and he only had 1 stat, and it was a personal foul the whole game. So it was like one of those where, like, the stuff speaks for itself because of how we work. Now, and a lot of that too is kids don't want to work. Kids don't like to be tough, so they try to go somewhere where, that's handed to me, and you're gonna get me these offers you say you're gonna get. Oh, I'm gonna hop on that train real quick. Then they realize by that senior year, dang, I'm lifting the same amount of weight. Those offers I really can't commit to. Like, it's one of those things where they just know we do it the right way, and that's why I wanted it done the right way. Same thing with the recruit thing that I think you were getting to with the new rules and all that stuff going. So one thing is, it hasn't been truly passed yet. It should be passed in August when it finally gets all the details out. But from us, Carrollton personally, we love it, you know, for the fact of we do stuff right. So we make sure you move your whole family from your old house to your new house and relinquish your old house. We do home checks. Our principal goes, AD goes, they look around the whole house, make sure you relinquish your old one, move to your new one with your whole family. We make sure ain't no shady stuff going on. If a kid reaches out to us, we make sure we send them right to our guidance lady in the front that does the tours and stuff. Like, I'm glad you're interested in Carolyn. Please reach out to her. She'll give you more information on it. So it's one of those things where we're not doing stuff illegally. Like, we know a lot of cats are. Like you said, there's some people that are putting them out every day of new transfer, and there's a lot of schools that are getting all these transfers, and we know for sure they ain't doing it right. So I think it's gonna help out a lot of schools, but you're gonna see, and I told people this, like, you're gonna see a lot of people get ineligible for next year. And I'm going to mark that now. You're gonna see a lot of high school teams get deemed. Some got deemed ineligible last year, couldn't make the playoff. Some that won region championships couldn't go to the playoff. There's gonna be a lot done again this year. Because what high school coaches are doing now is, oh, you just took one of my kids illegally. I'm not gonna turn you in until game 10. I'm gonna wait till you hit game 10, turn you in, all your stuff gets voided, you don't even get to make the playoff.
Wow.
So they don't even do it. They don't do it because they do it game 1. You just forfeit one game, the kid's ineligible. But if you do it game 10, their whole season has to forfeit, which I feel bad for the seniors on the team that did the right thing. You know, it's all about the coaches not doing the right thing.
Mm. Real quick, there was another question in the chat here. Coach, there we go. Coach, is it more of a challenge coaching a kid with an active mother or an active father?
Or both?
More challenging with an active, with an overly active father. Mom just want what's best for their baby. The more I realize with that, they don't know a lick about football. They just want them done right. They want their kid. They want their son to be happy. That's all they want. That's their baby. Some dads can be over where they want to make sure that he's doing everything right. They're on him about everything. They want to coach him hard about all this other stuff. What are you doing right? What you doing wrong? And then after the games, he's on you about all this stuff. The hard part is he ain't in those meeting rooms. He ain't in those coaches. So he don't know sometimes if they're telling him right. But at the same time, from a man, like, yeah, we want to be coached hard, taught hard, but sometimes if I've been getting yelled at by my coach, I've been having a tough day, I ain't trying to get in the car and hear from dad too. I want to hear some, and yes, I need that. But sometimes I need to, hey, let's man up, let's go get this right. I'm not telling you did it wrong. I don't know if you did it wrong. I think the best fathers to me are the ones that are active in their life, but not active in the sport, if that makes sense. I'm gonna take you to all the trainings. I'm gonna take you make sure you get your nutrition. I'm gonna make sure you had everything to be successful as an athlete, but I'm not gonna be in all about the football. I ain't gonna know about that stuff. I think I got two football parents that are great right now. Like they could care less of what plays we run and what we do. They want to be successful, and they're gonna ask what can they do to be successful and what else on the outside part can they be. But they're not in there trying to be back at home showing them quarterback stuff. No, they're at home being dad, and that's why I could tell when they come back to us, they're happy. They know they ain't about to go home and hear that stuff. And that's been the biggest part with the two actors.
Coach, that's interesting that you say that, because me and Kev and Coach Abe has been down into the games, and when we sat in your section that you've had us in, we don't hear none of the rah-rah about what y'all doing on the field, or why Junior ain't in the game, why you ain't got my son doing it. We hear none of that. So that lets me know whatever the communication y'all having with the coaching staff and the parents and the boosters is working correctly. Because we've seen
full
go
thing.
ahead.
No, I was about to say it's full. We make sure what we relay to the kids, relay to the parents as well. Because again, that's mama's baby. She gonna want to know why at the same time they play. But they also know for us at the same time, the best people on the field is gonna play. We don't care what grade you're in. If you're the best player, you're gonna play. If you're gonna give us a better opportunity than the senior, we gonna put you in. And I think a lot of them know that. And you could tell a lot of them know that.
And two, just speaking on that as far as good parents, I didn't develop a personal relationship with him, and I kind of coached teams that were either younger or older than him. But CJ Cypher, dad, is a perfect example of that. He gonna take him to wherever he need to be, when he need to be there, get him everything he needs. But when it's time for the coaches to put their hands on him, he lets it go. And I just, even from when he was 7, because I've been watching him for a while. Like I said, coaching teams either younger or older than him. But I never saw his dad. I never saw that. Now maybe it might have happened 1 or 2 times in the car, but I just, he was around football so much, right down the sideline, coaching different kids up, whatever. But just speaking of that good parent, I never saw him just being ass to his kid, especially in front of everybody. Because as a coach, I know, like, a coach can kind of get away with it, getting on him in front of everybody, because that's what coaches do. But when the parent do it, it's kind of different and kind of, in a way, demoralizing if it's just, just over the top. You feel what I'm saying? And I never, not once in all the years I've been around him, saw CJ Cypher's dad do that.
Oh yeah, David, I told you, is a model parent. I'm glad our
Sure.
relationship. We have a great relationship. Have a relationship for a while now. Like he's one of those where people don't know he is. I want to say tough on CJ, but he's one of those dads where he wants CJ. He's never be satisfied. Okay, all the
Right.
accolades you get, you're not going to be satisfied. Like you ain't gonna hear him cheering as much. He's gonna tell you, he's gonna tell him good job and stuff like that. But he's like,
Exactly.
great job.
Exactly.
Let's
Exactly.
keep working. But it's one of those where he played basketball and he'll tell you like, I don't know everything about football. He said, I know, but I know y'all know football, and I know if I can pitch y'all around y'all, he's gonna know. And he's seen that what we were able to do with you. But for him, he's a model dad. It's one of those things where it's funny because he won't mind me bringing it up. We have our end of the year meeting with our guys in the spring, and we ask them, "Hey, do your parents want to meet?" and stuff like that. And sometimes parents want to meet, and for him, he's like, "No, I'm good. Yeah, I don't want to meet." He said, "If his wife wants to meet, he's like, I don't know what she wants to meet about, but I promise you, I'm good." Like, but he's one of those dads where he trusts everything that we do, and if he asks, he calls me about anything, keeps me up ahead of time. Like RG3 flew him out for the OT7 thing, and he called because he again on the same page. Like for us, we didn't want to keep playing 707, especially while we were doing a lot of stuff during the summer. But going into the dead week, we didn't mind it because you have a week off. So it's one of those things. He called me. He's like, "Look, if y'all don't want him to go, he ain't going. Like whatever
Oh,
y'all
okay.
gonna do, we gonna do." Yeah, he's one of those. Whatever schedule we got him on, he wants to be on. If we tell him don't throw for a month, he ain't throwing for a month. Like, but he's one of those because he trusts what we say and what we do. But he's one of those model parents that I want everybody
Sure.
wish they could see and be like.
For sure. For sure.
Now this my craziness that I didn't know, and I gotta ask. And I'm putting this on you, Abe.
Yeah.
So the 707 is not a Carrollton 707. It's a random 707 they can go play in randomly, or that's what it is now.
So
It's my
we do a
ignorance now.
we'll do a 707 in high school. Like we'll go to different stuff like Jack State. We went to Auburn. We hosted one, like just high school part of it, 707. But then you have your it's kind of like AU football now with
For
707.
sure.
So you got your Hustle Inc., your Cam Newtons, your
Yeah, 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 yeah.
all your other teams that are around, Lambos. You got all those guys around, and it's one again. I think it's continually good, especially if you can keep those same coaches that do the youth football and the tackle football. Same with the 707. So
Yes.
they're getting the same style of coaching. It's the same guys that want them to be tough, and they're able to build that way. But a lot of these 707s now, it's just money. Some of them is money grabbers, and then some of them they just if they can get a star on their team, now they can blow them up. And everybody's trying to get that endorsement and stuff like that. But it's my biggest thing with 707 is, are you teaching them the correct stuff? Running routes, the correct depth, the correct way to run that route, the correct timing of this stuff. Like if we're just out here just running around just to run around, how's that gonna help us in the real game? So, and I think that's helped, especially from CJ Cypher. All that 707 he's done with Hustle Inc. and had to do. I think Tony Ballard marries some of the standards that we hold, especially at Carrollton. The high standard, the playing fast, stuff like that. So that's helped him out some. But then you might have some that come in that played on the low level there, take their time. They still got the plays on the card where you just, and you're in high school and it's slow and stuff like that. So it can teach you the wrong stuff too. So it can marry and it can hurt you.
For sure.
All right. Well, Coach, I have y'all's schedule pulled up right here. And let
Get
me
him,
see.
Kev.
One,
Get
two,
him, Kev.
three,
Get him.
4, 5, 6, 7. Am I seeing 7 home games on here?
Man, I don't know how we got blessed like that. We ended up buying
That's
out
hard.
another game, like Chapel Hill. We bought out Chapel Hill to come back again. But yeah, it was.
Yep,
We were on
Chapel
the
Hill
road
is
a good bit last
homecoming.
year, but we got a good home schedule this year. And then our road games are pretty tough. Like we got to go to Gainesville. We got to go to, and I know you saw them kids Gainesville done got. We got to go to Westlake. So we got to go to some tough areas now.
Yeah, I don't know how Rome is, but that
We got
sounds like an away game.
They give them fits.
Rome's been our rivalry for the last couple of years, and so that's been forward to every year.
Well, then let me hear it from your perspective. What teams do you think this year are going to give you the most fits? Do you think it's going to be those away games, or are there a couple guys coming to see you?
And of course, seeing this year too, I think we're going to be tough. But I think the toughest ones that we're going to see, of course, going through the schedule, from the top of my head, Woodward's always going to be well prepared. Gainesville is going to be tough. Parker's got reloaded. They coming back. They got to come to us this year. Westlake's always got athletes. And then you got Douglas County last game of the year, and Douglas County, they reloaded with everybody, got some new kids in, so that's gonna be tough as well.
There you go. There you go. Well, Coach, I see you got to go back into daddy mode here.
Oh yeah, wife just getting in the car.
Well, we got you, Coach. We really do appreciate you again. We're gonna get that schedule. We all make the trip down there, of course.
Absolutely.
See you.
Like I said, just let me know a game, and I'll make sure that y'all are well accommodated. Whatever y'all need, make sure y'all back in the black again.
Of course, Coach.
Yeah.
We know we ain't gonna embarrass you like that. We gonna come.
Just let me know when some of the guys want to get a workout in. I'll show
Look.
Hey, weight room always open. Always open. I just hope we got enough weights. I don't know.
Don't say that.
I told Coach that started when we went down there to that weight room. He was not this big. 2 years ago, Coach, when we came down there, look at that joker's shoulders. His shoulders wide as that wall back there. He wasn't this big.
That's all we want. Motivation. That's all we want.
Hey,
we want you to walk in motivated.
Need to get him on the weight, the strengthening coach. Because boy, that joker there.
I got some. I'm an expensive trainer. Just know that. I am expensive. I charge by the set.
Boy, I'm going to get your hat personally. I'm gonna go get your hat personally, Bo.
Well, Coach, man, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing what y'all put on the field this year, man.
Oh yes, sir. And I can't wait for y'all to come down. And I know I'll be back on whenever y'all have me on again. But I appreciate y'all and the opportunity, man. And
always.
Appreciate one for what y'all do. Like people, they talk about time for what y'all do for us, but for what y'all do for us, the exposure y'all get to kids. And again, Coach Abe, like your team speaks for itself. But again, like the kids the kids I see in general out there, like you could tell what you're doing at a young age, like it should never go unnoticed. Y'all are the reason. Youth coaches are the reason we love football ourselves, and why we kept playing. So again, I want to say I appreciate y'all and all that y'all do.
Oh man, well, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Well, all right, Coach. We will talk to you soon. Enjoy your night. Coach AJ Barnes, ladies and gentlemen.
Appreciate y'all.
Absolutely. Oh man. Well, let me just start off with this little hang on, sorry.
Hey, look at that peck on him, Abe. Look at that peck on him right there. Look at that peck on him. Boy, I tell you.
Don't mess with me.
Look at that peck on him right there. Look at that peck on him right there.
Don't mess with me.
It tattooed right here. Look at this stretched all the way over there. You see that? Oh, hey, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all want to get on this workout program and you want your man to get a little swollen, this is the gentleman y'all need to talk to down here. That joker was not this joker right here. The Kev Savage right here.
All right, well, let me tell you. The night race at the newly renamed Echo Park. I saw about 30 laps.
We already know. I seen you.
We know.
We know.
We saw.
Let me tell you, when we walked in, now we decided this year, we're going to do things a little different. We camped. We stayed the night. The race started at 7 o'clock. We got there at 11. And of course, as soon as we pulled in, the beers cracked. So we had about 8 hours of pre-gaming.
Man.
And it was I think we went through 4 30-packs of Bud Light, about half a 30-pack of Bush Apple, and a couple of bottles.
Bush.
Hey, that Bush Apple ain't too bad when you chugging. Yeah, it ain't too bad. Let me tell you. So I was feeling good. Everything was going right. We get into the stands, and I sit down, and I find 5. D, you know what it is? 5, baby. That's the only number we know out there.
Yes, 5.
So I find 5, right? But the problem was I was already at the point where I was having to find 5 with one eye closed. So luckily, a rain delay hit. It started raining. So that's about a 45-minute, maybe an hour, depending on what it does to the track. At a NASCAR event, you can walk out and come back in. So I was like, all right, you know what? I need to go hit a little nap. I'm going to go back to the camper. I'm going to take like an hour little snooze, get back in there. There'll be about 100 laps left. I'll be ready to go. I woke up, it was 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, you was going the footage I seen, sir. You was going pretty hard.
Yeah, that was some pretty interesting footage.
Pretty interesting.
Let me tell you. So my buddy said, "Hey, I got this drinking game," and I don't know if you heard the song in the background, but it was an Irish song, and there's moments of it where it speeds up, and when it speeds up, you chug your beer. So I was feeling good. I decided to give it a little stone cold flare, and 2 of them went down. There was many that went down that day.
Terrible. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself as you always do.
I'm glad you got to sleep it off before you had to drive home.
Yes.
I tell you, the next morning wasn't as bad as I had thought. I stopped, got a little food. I was ready to go.
Coach, you got a question? Big Baby. Like you're talking about Big Baby.
Big Baby is actually he's in the 8th grade now. I forget the name of his middle school, but he has actually been practicing a little bit with the high school near him as well. I think they're trying to get him in there early, so he's just been doing like some weight training and stuff. He cannot put on pads or anything with the high school right now because he's technically and legally in the 8th grade. But I forget the name of his middle school that he goes to. But a couple of other kids went there as well, and they did pretty good last year. But the big kid was only in the 7th grade, so now he's in the 8th. And I'm definitely I next week I have that some more info for you on the name of his school. I know it just skipped my mind right now, but I'm definitely gonna be in touch and letting y'all know what Big Baby been doing. I appreciate that, Bo.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, we do have another topic for tonight. And it comes out of the University of South Carolina, which I was real surprised that you wanted to talk about this, D.
Well, Bo, not to cut you off, Kel, Bo sent it to me and told me to read over because it was a Facebook post. I didn't get to go all the way in depth. I said, well, let me shoot this over to you guys. That's your team, Kev. This is interesting, and I know you will introduce it.
All right. Well, as we all know, I am a fan of the University of South Carolina and Lenoris Sellers, a.k.a. La Heisman.
I like that.
Turned down $8 million worth of NIL money to remain in South Carolina and stay their quarterback. His father said, "We came here to play. Get your education and play." I'm gonna let y'all go first on that.
Go ahead, D.
Okay, Bo brought this to my attention. So when I read this, I was like, okay. And then you see some of the comments of the people going back and forth. If this is true, because you know some fake news out there sometime here and there.
This is, in fact, true. This came out a couple of weeks ago.
So here we go. In the state of the climate that we in, economy, the world we live in now, it is not guaranteed this kid can get hurt next year, Kev. He can tear a hamstring. He can blow out an ACL. He can get his shoulder ripped off. In the day and time we in now, get your money. I know we know the ultimate goal. Get your money. Now, depending on where they say he was going, I don't know who offered it to him, but get it.
Was it Oregon? I
Kev,
forget.
well, whoever,
I never saw the school that offered him.
Whoever, if this is like you say, it's true, but whoever offered this type of money for this kid, you got to make a conscious decision. Are you going to come out and get drafted and get this type of money? All right, like both say, South Carolina is, as you should know, Kev, is giving him $3 million.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So now, don't get me wrong, $3 million, 8 is different. But if he's getting 3 and he's comfortable where he is, I'm good with it. If he's comfortable, you didn't have the 3 to start off with in the first place. Getting 8 and getting the chance to go somewhere and you get hurt either way. You don't make it on the team, don't make the depth chart, whatever. Now you jumping around from team to team. You see what I'm saying? Like we had a DJ Ukulele was doing, right? You don't want to get put in that situation where you jump from team to team. So now you're a hired gun and nobody knows you're not committed to anyone, which will hurt your resume down the line. So I see it both ways. If I started off with nothing and I got 3 and I know I'm the starting quarterback, hey, I can sit tight. But it's some pressure behind him now. Don't get him twisted. It's a little pressure behind him. But go ahead, Nate.
Well, first off, let's hope that Lil Heisman does not turn into DJU. And like you said, man, I think it's about being comfortable and kind of comfortable in your space, in your surroundings, with the coaching, with just everything that's right in front of you. I feel like, before last year, these schools weren't offering them that much money to come to their school. He bowed out freshman year with South Carolina. So I feel like he feels like, if this school is one of the few ones who took the chance on me, believed in me, giving me a starting job as a freshman, which he probably wouldn't have got too many other places, depending on where he went. So, $8 million is a lot. And I was hearing that Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams were getting crazy offers as well to leave their universities to come play elsewhere. But and like them, as well as Lenore Sellers, I feel like that they were just comfortable in their spot. A lot could happen, in transitioning over. This scheme may not be right for you, or this QB coach. A lot of factors play into it versus just the 8 million. You feel what I'm saying? So, I feel like that's a pretty big ticket to turn down, but he was already getting some millions anyway. And I think that what he has built in his little time with South Carolina is worth finishing. Now the coach leave or something like that happens, I can understand them getting out of there. But you know, you got all your components in place, and you know, I can't say that staying was a bad choice.
Oh, hang on one second here. My bad. The dog started barking. All right. I'm going to start here. Two things.
When you slip out that shirt,
Huh?
I ain't saying you just slipped on. Go ahead. Ain't that same shirt. You think you slick? You change shirt midway. I'm like, wait a minute. Where that shirt come from?
Is it the same shirt?
That's the same
color.
shirt.
The color was different then. There was something going on with the
I mean,
color.
the sun's going down. I got the lamp
that's
on
what
over
it is.
here.
Okay.
Oh, dog. All right. Oregon and Auburn were the unofficial.
There you go.
That was where everybody's thinking that it came from. D. Marcus Lattimore.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus Lattimore he grew up in my hometown. His mother, all throughout high school, there would be days she would come out on the field. She'd go, Coach, Marcus failed a test in this class. He practicing today. He's got to go study.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus Lattimore was probably one of the it's a fact. He was top 3 running backs at South Carolina, tore 2 ACLs. And his mother told him, you got to go back for your senior year. You got to get your degree.
Mm-hmm.
He came back, got his degree, went and played 3 years for the 49ers, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's a pretty wealthy dude using his degree. So I always look at from the education standpoint first. Now, to Bo's question up here, as a father, I also have some experience, and I've mentioned it on the show before, with being young and getting a lump sum of money. When I was 18, I was given quite a bit of money, and you couldn't tell me shit. The fact that I was walking around with 2-3 times what some adult salaries are in my bank account at 18 years old, can't tell me nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I can do at that point. I can do anything I wanted to, anything. So I don't know. As a father, I think his father was right, and as someone who's seen it with a past player from South Carolina that had a mother with the same mentality. Football ain't always going to be there. I get it. We're in a different age now where you can get more money out of it. But the track that Lenoris is on, he's going to make his money.
For sure.
Yes.
South Carolina's program, everything that Shane Beamer has done in his 4 years as the coach, has done nothing but build the program back to what it was, 15 years ago, and put nothing but money in there. Go look at our facilities. We have like top 5 facilities in the country. All of our stuff is modeled after NFL facilities to get players to the next level, get them used to being in those type of environments. But here's why would you go somewhere where you're the king of the city? When Lenoris was a redshirt freshman, and he would come in from time to time when we were up, all he did was score. Spencer Rattler was still the QB that everybody loved, but we weren't worried that he was leaving because we knew who was sitting behind him. Why do you think South Carolina fans were so excited this year? Because he was everything we knew he was going to be, and he's only going to get better. If I'm and I'll use this term because that's what it is out there. If I'm the cock of the walk.
Oh my God.
Okay.
If I'm the cock of the walk.
Okay.
Why would I leave? Why would I go somewhere else where nobody knows me? I gotta go. It would be restarting, in my opinion.
For sure.
Because at the point he's at, if Lenoris goes out there and gets us to a first-round playoff game, he's going to come back and get more money next year from the same school. The same school that not only has been with him since his freshman year of high school and been recruiting him since then, but also he's getting another opportunity to play with his younger brother.
It's a lot entail. Along with, like, you know, and I know Abe knows, even if they, like you said, it was a Auburn. Let's just use Auburn for example, because that was one of the players. You still got family that you don't know.
His family's from South Carolina.
You know what I'm saying? You still got family, even like you say, Oregon. It's a lot to deal with that. Transportation. Is he gonna get homesick? If you're trying to send, family members out there to see the game, you don't know what's all involved, but it'll be hard pressed for any of us to leave, and we already solidified as I'm the starter.
Mm-hmm.
Walking into something that I don't know. Some of these players you might have been recruited with, probably went on a visit with, something like that, but you walk in foreign land, and sometimes you're not going to be well received because they know why you here.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if it's another incumbent quarterback there or any position player you coming in at the skill position, outside of linemen, D linemen and stuff like that. Anybody coming in, safeties, cornerbacks, wide receivers, etc., it's going to be a problem. Well, I've been getting recruited all this time. I done signed a 4-year scholarship, and you come in and they just hand you the keys to the council. That will be a whole problem.
For sure.
End of the day, man, I think what his dad told him was smart. $8 million is a lot. And I was having this conversation with my buddy who's a Clemson fan about his quarterback, Cade Klubnik. And hey, man, say what you want, but Cade Klubnik's been at Clemson for 4 years. He has stayed at Clemson his entire college career, and he's made money. And he knows, he's the number one. He's right now the number one QB on the draft board next year. Hey, a lot of folks are saying it. A lot of folks are saying it.
Somewhat.
For me, it almost burns to come out of it almost burns my tongue to even let that roll off. But say what you want. The kid can play. Just Dabo doesn't know how to develop teams.
And that's what I was just about to say. What's up? Be fit. Well, that's what I was just about to say. I think Klubnik is in a different situation versus other schools, whereas Clemson is I'm sure a great experience for a college athlete. Got a great fan base, great athletic program. As a whole, man, Dabo don't know what the hell he be doing. So just for me, it helps Klubnik to stay. But another point is, where the hell else you gonna go? Where you going and be Cade Klubnik anywhere else at what other university? You feel what I'm saying? So and I can probably name 2 or 3 ACC quarterbacks last year who was better. I'm gonna definitely take the SMU.
You got to think that the league was real big because we had West Coast teams.
Yeah, it did have a good amount of teams in it. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, so SMU is the only guy I see right now. But I'm gonna go back and look. Let me go back and look, and I'll speak on it next week.
All right. Well, let's get to. Hey, man, there was a trade today. Let me pull it up here. The Dolphins have agreed to trade cornerback Jalen Ramsey and tight end Giannu Smith along with a 2027 seventh round pick to the Pittsburgh Steelers in exchange for their safety, Minka Fitzpatrick, and a 2027 fifth round pick. Who won the trade?
I think you got to let it play out. We don't know how Ramsey will do in Pittsburgh's scheme. As a matter of fact, didn't Minka Fitzpatrick come from the Dolphins, though?
Yes.
Did they draft him?
Yes.
Okay. All right. But we don't know how it's gonna pan out. Now, what I do know is that Arthur Smith, who was a coach for the Falcons, his boy is Jonnu Smith,
Yes.
and I feel like that, along with the combination with Aaron Rodgers, will do good for Pittsburgh's offense. I really don't know how well Ramsey will fit in Pittsburgh's defense. Now, I know he's playing corner. Now, I'm not sure if he plays safety at the Dolphins or whatnot, but I think he's playing corner for what the hell?
Let him be, man. Let him be. Let him be.
So you got it on standby. That was you saying.
No, I wore it to the gym
tough.
today.
That's tough. So, I don't really know how, I mean, it does say that Pittsburgh is trying to go all in on this season. I do feel like, did they sign Watt? Have they signed Watt? They haven't signed him, right?
No.
So for me, that would be my first priority, because I just feel like Ramsey's not gonna be the best Ramsey he can be if you don't have Watt up there pass rush. So all of the components have to come together. And we just gotta see how it plays out. The Dolphins defense is kind of middle of the pack a little bit, maybe a little higher. But I feel like Minka going over there is a good plug-in for where Jalen was. But I can't really say how it's gonna work out for Ramsey and Pittsburgh. Now I believe he's got an expiring deal. I don't think they re-signed him, so he's gonna make about a 20-piece just this year, if I'm not mistaken.
He gonna get a little bit more than that, because they didn't restructure it. They restructured it a little bit, but this is the thing. A couple of weeks ago, Darius Slay is over there. On the roster. You got Joey Porter Jr.'s son on the roster also, and Slay came out and made a comment saying that there was a lot of unprofessionalism playing around going on in practice in the locker room over there in Pittsburgh land. And now that you see Minka Fitzpatrick, who was one of their leaders on defense, he's a dirty SOB for what he did to Chubb. But anyway,
yes, sir.
He's going back to the team that drafted him. But I had already heard Pittsburgh was after the tight end for the last month.
Mm-hmm.
They've been trying to make a deal to get him. I honestly, be honest with you, Pittsburgh got over. They fleeced them, because anytime you can get two players and draft picks to come to your team and you only give up one player, and you getting a player that can replace him at the safety spot, because they're going to move Ramsey to safety, or he's going to be some type of rover type player where they're just going to let him check whoever, or be free to do whatever he does. The only thing about Jalen Ramsey, he can be a little head case, but Minka Fitzpatrick can too.
There you go.
See, so you really just trading head case for head case, basically. Minka Fitzpatrick, I would say this, he's an all-pro safety. Now, him going back to Miami, I don't know how that sits well with him. Does he have an expiring contract? Will he end up being a free agent, or they make another move? I don't see him wanting to stay there, because he got out from in there the last time. But Brian Flores was the coach at the time, and Brian Flores wanted Minka Fitzpatrick to play nickelback at the time he was coming in. That's not his position at all. So Pittsburgh fleeced them on this one. That's my opinion on it. And like you said, like Coach Abe said, they pushing all their chips to the table, Aaron Rodgers said he getting y'all 1 year. That's it, and he's done.
And for that, man, and I'm just still going back to the draft because why? Why you didn't? And then next year you're gonna be back. Now you can get in the Arch Manning sweepstakes next year. I'm not sure, but you only got 1 year out of this. Where's your long-term solution? Where's your Pittsburgh long-term? Because Pittsburgh kind of always drafts good and keep players around, for a good while. So,
And Aaron Rodgers has only been signed to a 1-year deal. Same thing they just did with Russ.
yes, sir.
All right. Abe, give me your last take, brother.
Oh, man, thank you to Coach Barge for coming on again, man. Always a pleasure speaking with him. Looking forward to getting down to some of them Carrollton games. And, for the kids out there, man, I just say, like, wherever you can go, make sure it's a spot where you're going to develop, where you're going to feel yourself getting better. Even if you may not play that first year, but the decision to go to some of these schools, just because you know somebody or you feel like that's not always gonna get you better. So parents, kids, just take heed of that, man. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. See y'all next week.
Thank again, like you said, Coach Bars. I really appreciate the relationship that we have with the Carrollton Trojans. Bo, I will get your hat personally when I go down there. I will make sure I purchase a hat and bring it back with your Trojan logo on it. And again, I appreciate Coach Abe and what he does with the youth, being a youth coach and putting his hand on a lot of these players. And it's just how God works things sometimes. The young man that was on here last week, Coach Abe put his hands on him, has a relationship with him, and now Coach Barnes gets to work with him in Carrollton, and we didn't even know. So again, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I did go see one thing. I went and seen the F1 movie.
I would.
Kev, you will love it. Abe is a good date movie for you and the wife.
All right, say less.
So it's a good date movie, but that joke around down over that NASCAR, you'll love it. They did a real good job. And thank you again.
I have to check that out. All right, fellas. Great show to everybody who tuned in. Thank you very much. Thank you, Coach AJ Barge. Once again, we look forward to seeing everything that they put on the field this season. All right, man. Until next time, please make sure that the beer stays cold and the wings are always lemon pepper, baby. We are out.